Disassociation. When it was mentioned that Harriet Tubman could possibly be used as a replacement on a $20 bill to replace Andrew Jackson, a man who fought in the war to annex Spanish Florida to re-enslave free black people in Florida. When it was mentioned that she would be put on the money to replace his face, there were individuals who stated they didn't want to see Harriet Tubman on the money because it would remind them of slavery. Even though George Washington, who was a slave owner, who was walking around with the teeth of black people in his mouth and horses in his mouth, he was a slave owner. He's on the money. I don't hear anyone saying that looking at George Washington reminds them of slavery. Thomas Jefferson was a slave owner. He's on the money. I don't hear anyone saying looking at him reminds them of slavery. Andrew Jackson fought in the war to re-enslave and recapture free black people who were living in Spanish Florida, who escaped from the Carolinas and Georgia, and some of them being members of the Corps of Colonial Marines who had just recently fought in the War of 1812 and were dropped off in Spanish Florida. He fought in the war to recapture these individuals and re-enslave them. He's on the money. I don't hear anyone saying that looking at his face reminds them of slavery. So how come you can look at the faces of slave owners, but that don't remind you of slavery? But looking at the face of a person who escaped from slavery reminds you of slavery. This is disassociation.